How do we recognize signs of awakened intuition? It's the least strange experience. We all have coincidence in our life. We try to understand it better, and we have some confidence in it, but is it possible to use this skill, this intuitive ability we have, or even increase its potential? Most of us have, we trust our instincts. We rely on them to find our way. We solve problems, navigate relationships, make decisions, financial decisions, personal decisions. And intuition is at work to some extent. According to some scholars, intuition is described as a thing one knows through instinctive reasoning. And this other point about that, from the same group of scholars, the ability to understand something without the need for conscious reasoning. And that interests me, and I want to explain why. Okay, we may be aware that we are using our intuition or not. Perhaps we can increase our intuition or awaken it to the extent that we're able to use it and rely on it, feel confident about it. Someone might say, well, it may be my intuition, but I can't rely on it. I have to think everything through and prove or disprove it through the usual methodology. We have this ability to think, so why not? Maybe we think too much. If something seems wrong, we avoid it. Oftentimes that's the right decision. We've all made mistakes and later regretted a choice that we made or choices that we make. And we come to realize that maybe had I trusted my instincts, the outcome would have been better. But if something seems right by nature, we're drawn to a sense of increasing charm where there is a frictionless flow of thought and positivity. This is an ease or a confidence that comes when we feel something is right. We're really comfortable with it. When something seems right, there's a silent sense of comfort about it. Things just seem to work out, or at least we feel that they will. People often say, it just felt right. I knew, but I didn't know why I knew or how I knew that everything was going to work out just fine. Some people are very good at that. And the goal here is that everybody should be good at it. So let's see what we can come up with. When we increase our intuition, this natural ability becomes even more useful and reliable. We wake up in the morning, we feel optimistic and excited about our day. We may not know what's to come that day. There's a lot of unknown, but we feel comfortable about it. We associate less worry with it. We're not as fearful. Things seem more reliable. And we greet others with that mood, that attitude, that centered sense of comfort. When opportunities start presenting themselves, we're better able to take advantage of them if we're not worried and frightened and judgmental, and bringing all that negativity into the picture is not the necessary ingredient to find a way to live in a state of comfort or happiness. To create the foundation for this ability to live a more fulfilling life, we take time to reach that creative silence within us. This is what we do during meditation. We learn to practice 20 minutes twice a day, morning and evening. We sit and just become established in that inner confidence, that inner contentment, that silence. It's a way to awaken our intuition as well, because we're not even trying to do that. It's a byproduct of meditation. It's already there as part of our life. Let's get rid of the obstacles and make it more of a living reality. Meditation removes the obstacles. Okay? We're human beings. We're not human doings. Let's spend a little bit of time developing that side of our life. We're human beings. All the doing, that will come after meditation. We're only meditating 20 minutes twice a day. There's so many hours during the day for other pursuits. If we know how to settle down and absorb new scenery during meditation, this is what you learn when you take the class, away from noise and overthinking, worry and confusion, we've learned how to practice the meditation. It becomes automatic. It's an effortless way to awaken our intuition and that sense of confidence. In meditation, we're able to reach a state of quiet without trying to be quiet. It's something we can do. We all have the ability. And it's not work for the mind. It's comfort. It's relaxation. When sitting to meditate, we naturally gain access to our essential nature, this state of being. It's the least strange experience in our daily life, and one that we need to bring to the forefront, because here in deep meditation, we experience increasing charm and less activity. It's a state of rest. When returning to activity, when meditation is over, we feel those inner waves of fulfillment that structure our day. They're starting to flow in us. We're not distracted by fear and anger and all these things and resentments, the buildup of anxiety. We need to reset, to come back to a state which is familiar to the body-mind experience. By repeating the practice of meditation every day, we grow in confidence and feel grounded. The benefits are spontaneously lived. In some ways, we are still in meditation, even though we've finished the 20 minutes and gone out to begin our day. But you bring it with you. You bring this style of functioning for the body, this state of relaxation with you. So you can handle all these challenges with the addition of intuition. That's what this is about. There could be many reasons why someone decides to begin meditation. Certainly everyone needs the benefits of less stress, better health, deeper, more enjoyable sleep. These benefits are already known. They're well known. And on other videos, I've explained what that is. But let's take a look at experiencing benefits that are perhaps considered more subjective. Intuition. How are you going to quantify or prove it? Well, we're talking here about a more expanded state of awareness, more expanded intuition, better energy, and more wakefulness. You're more wide awake. Some days you wake up, the whole day you're tired. The other days you wake up, you get a good night's sleep, you're awake, more wakefulness. These are benefits that come about naturally. So if we're meditating, we add to that. We wake up more. We feel more alive during the day. As stress is released, one feels less fear and more happiness takes its place. We call it happy for no reason. And that's a goal of meditation. If you're hearing this explanation, perhaps for the first time, something like this, there's perhaps a sequence of events that got you to this place. Earlier you read this or heard this. In quiet moments you thought of something. Maybe it was something you read, a conversation you had with someone. These things, these steps that take place in daily life, they're connected. We might often think it's just a waste, but look at it today with a different eye toward clarification. Was there some coincidence that occurred that you can't explain? One thing leads to another. I run into this sort of thing all the time when I teach meditation. People who find my teaching come to me, mostly by referral from other students, but it's amazing. The sequence is always very meaningful. Perhaps the most outstanding event to take place in my life was with a student who took my class about 2010. She called to say that she wanted to take the 4 lessons, and I agreed to meet with her at her home in Miami. A few days later, I was there, and she greeted me at the door, and we started talking right away. She said that she had a dream the night before that made no sense to her. And well, let's hear what you've got to say. I'm always interested. In the dream, she said a man introduced himself as Dr. Ladd from India, and he spoke to her about a new journey that she was embarking on in her life right now. And she told me that she had just quit a job in accounting and started a master's program in poetry. This was a long-term desire she had had. Before she could say anything else, I asked her to let me call my friend who was visiting from New Mexico, and he was staying at my house. So I called him up, and he answered, and I told him that I was going to put him on speakerphone so he could talk to my new student. And I asked him to tell her who he works for and who trained him and where his teacher was born. So I put the speaker on, and he said, I work for Dr. Ladd, who is from India. He's my teacher. I'm studying natural medicine, which is called Ayurveda, and I've been with him for 7 years. So my student thanked him for the information. Pretty interesting feeling we both had at that point. And she said goodbye, and she turned to me and said, when can we start the class? I'm ready to begin meditating. You don't have to convince me. I said, well, we'll do it in a few minutes. Just a few points about the technique that I need to cover. There was no need to convince her. It was a coincidence by some account, or was it a meaningful coincidence? Her dream, my friend visiting. You have to wonder. Carl Jung, the psychologist, wrote about it in his work. I called it synchronicity. And my student claimed to have such dreams since she was about age 12. She grew up in South Beach, and her mother was very open to this sort of thinking too. She never experienced anything quite like her dream the night before, though. This was a first. So no matter what you think about this event, believe it or not, it's up to you. It's just one example of a natural sequence of events that leads us to self-discovery. It's part of our path. Coincidence is there. Someone quoted Albert Einstein, and I don't know if it's true. Einstein said that coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. You can take that for what it's worth. The goal of meditation is to, the one I teach, is to put us in touch with this intuition, with this silent creative force that lies within. I teach what's called Transcendental Stress Management, or TSM Meditation. You can look below if you want. I should have some contact information. But in any event, I'd like to welcome everyone to take this simple instruction. It only takes 4 lessons, like I said. You can take it on Zoom. You can start to enjoy more fulfilling life by getting rid of these stresses that are there, blocking this intuitive ability that we have. Before you dismiss something, this is just to point out maybe what's going to happen later. Your life is certainly going to be filled with coincidence. It is with everybody. I would encourage everybody to be hesitant to dismiss something as mere coincidence. See how it fits into a pattern or a sequence of events. If it connects to something meaningful, trust your instincts, trust your intuition. And of course, if it leads you to me to begin or continue the course of meditation that I teach, trust the universe, or whatever you care to call it. Maybe the big picture will gradually unfold and it'll become more obvious where you're going.